In this video, we're going to look at every guitar I own at the moment. Hey guys, I am Dr. McFarland, and if you want to be a more confident musician, definitely consider subscribing to my channel, and be sure to click on the bell icon so you'll be notified every time I release new content. So, in my hands right now is a PVT60. I know it doesn't have the original neck on it, but this is an aftermarket neck that I got on eBay, and it seems to be working out pretty good because I do like thicker necks, and the original PV neck is just way too thin for my taste. So this was a good upgrade for me. And what's special about the PV guitars, especially the T60s, is these are humbucker pickups. But depending on where the value of the tone knob is, whether it's on 10 or somewhere around 7 or 8, when you have these tone pots rolled up all the way on 10, it's going to be a single coil, and then as you roll it down, it's going to turn into a humbucker. So that's really neat. So here's the single coil sound on the bridge position. I'm going to roll it down to about 7. So you can hear a little bit more girth going on into the tone, which is kind of neat. And then here is both pickups, both on single coil mode. Okay, and here it is with both of them on humbucker mode. Alright, and here's the neck pickup just on single coil. I'm going to roll it back. So now's the humbucker. Alright, so that was the PVT60. Alright, here's my Epiphone Sheraton. And what's special about this guitar is when I went off to college, I got a 2-year scholarship to play in a jazz band. But at the time, I only had a Strat. And I was like, well, you can't really play jazz on a Strat. So I'd always seen these in guitar magazines. And I actually had a chance to win one of these one time. I think in maybe like Guitar Player magazine. They were giving one away. So I sent my name in. And I didn't win. But it still didn't deter me from wanting to get one of these awesome guitars. So I went with my dad to some local shops there in Chattanooga. And we picked one of these up. And I've loved it ever since. So this is the Epiphone Sheraton. It's got your basic humbucker pickups, 3-way selector, and your normal Gibson volume and tone. But I just love this guitar because, you know, you can do jazz stuff on it, you can do blues, rock, country. I mean, it sounds great for any style. So. Here's the middle pickup. And then here is the neck pickup. And I will say that these humbuckers are a set of Brian Porter pickups. I think it's a guy out of Idaho. And he makes really good pickups. So I thought it was a good upgrade from these standard pickups that come in the Sheratons. Definitely check out Brian Porter. Now this one right here, this is a pretty crazy guitar. This was a Strat that was all black when I first bought it at a guitar store in Murfreesboro. And I decided to sand it all down, and I was just going to redo it somehow, kind of make it like an artistic project. So if you can see here, there's an angel wing. Some people think it's like an eagle wing, which I guess it could be, but I like to call it the angel wing. And then there's a devil horn down here on the bottom with the Hell's Flames. So I call it my Heaven and Hell guitar. And it's just got 5-way selector, 1 volume knob. This is a Jeff Beck humbucker. And then these are 2 DiMarzio Area 51 pickups, maybe 67 pickups, I can't remember. And this is actually the original guitar neck from my very first Squier Stratocaster. The other neck that came on here just wasn't working out, so I decided to throw this on there, and it actually sounds pretty good. So it's just a project guitar. Now, the story behind this one is this is a fairly recent purchase, but I produce a lot of songs here in my studio, and I really needed that 12-string sound. So I went online, saw what the prices were going for, and then actually found a local store that was selling it for about the same price as they were online. So I just drove up to Nashville and got this cool Dan Electro 12-string. So it does have double the strings on here, so it takes a little longer to tune. That's perfectly fine though. I just love the looks of this thing. And but here's what it sounds like. So here's the middle pickup. And the neck pickup. So yeah, I love the look of this thing. It's just awesome. Sounds great. This next guitar is the Reverend Warhawk. And this thing is awesome as well. I do like that it has the locking tuners on the back, and it's got this great Bigsby tremolo. And what's kind of special about the really all the Reverend guitars is it has a tone knob that instead of rolling off highs, it's kind of like a high pass. So as you roll it down, it kind of cuts away the low end. And you can take your humbucker sound and kind of thin it out and get like the single coil kind of sound. But it's still noiseless. So it's really ingenious way of, redefining tone circuits for guitars. So here's with the tone knob all the way up on the bridge. And this is with it all the way down. And it just sounds really good. Here's the middle pickup. And then the neck pickup. And the tremolo arm works really well, so and the guitar stays in tune really well. So this guitar is the Reverend Jetstream 390, and it's called that because it has 3 P90 pickups right here. It's really good. Once again, it has the high pass roll off here on the bottom with the normal tone and normal volume. It's got your 5-way switch. So I basically use this guitar as my Strat sound. Even though they're 3P90s, you can still get that in between sounds because of the 5-way switch. So this is what the bridge position sounds like. And here's 2 and 4. Here's the middle. And the 4th position. And here's the neck. And this has a great Wilkinson tremolo on it as well, and it just plays really smooth. So the 2 Reverend guitars are definitely my my favorites right now, just because they look and sound awesome. So now this is a vintage. It's a vintage brand Les Paul. It is fairly heavy. It's definitely not light, but it feels pretty good. I think there's a little bit of weight balance, something going on like in this area, because there's not enough meat on this part of the guitar. But you know. But it definitely feels good standing up, and it has that Les Paul tone. So it's got Wilkinson pickups, Wilkinson hardware, pretty much Wilkinson everything. But here's the bridge position. And here's both pickups. Here's the neck position. So yeah, the back is really pretty, and the front has a nice flame top on here. I'm not sure if this is a laminate or if this is just or if it's a full piece, but either way, it looks great, sounds great. And these are really good value guitars for the money, for sure. Here's another vintage brand guitar. This is based off of the 335. I would put this on the same scale as maybe the Epiphone Dot as far as just like simplicity and looks. It doesn't feel cheap. It's actually really well made. But just the aesthetics itself just kind of has that Epiphone Dot kind of look to it. So, but the pickups sound great, and the guitar is actually really light. It feels, it doesn't weigh hardly anything at all. So. Here's the neck. Alright, so that is the vintage VS500. Here's a Peavey Patriot guitar, and this was made back in the early 80s, and it's got two super ferrite pickups, which is kind of Peavey's P90-ish pickup. So it's got a volume and a tone, a three-way switch, and you know, this is a I think like a two-piece. It's maybe like a walnut body. I'm not quite sure, but it's definitely very cool looking. And this actually has 23 frets and not 24, not 22, not 21. So that's kind of interesting as well. It's got a nice feel to the neck. These Peavey necks are actually two separate pieces of maple glued together. So you can see the little stripe down the back. And this was made in the USA. This is what the bridge pickup sounds like. And here's the middle. And here's the neck. So it definitely has a very cool vibe to it. And let's go on to the next one. So here's another T60. This is actually in Honeyburst with the original neck. And it's just gorgeous, really. It's so pretty. It's got the same configurations as the other T60. It's got the tone knobs. Them all the way up there in single coil mode, and then when you roll them down, they go into humbucker. So this is what this one sounds like. And here's middle. And once again, I love the finish. It is very pretty. Everything's in great shape. The electronics are just a tad scratchy, but that's not a big deal. Great saddles, great everything. If you're in the market for a T60, this is definitely a good one to have. Alright, so here's a bass that I bought off of GuitarFetish.com, and I'm not sure if it's called Xavier or if it's called Javier, but either way, this is not a very expensive bass, and it sounds and plays great. So pretty much all the songs I come out with here in the last few weeks have all had this bass on the recording, and it sounds great. So I would definitely check out GuitarFetish.com for their great deals on inexpensive instruments. Alright, so let's move on to the acoustic instruments now. And this is actually my very first acoustic guitar. It's a Sigma that I'm not sure where it's made. Maybe it's made in Korea. Yeah, this is made in Korea. So I've had this guitar for probably about 23 years, and it sounds great. So over the years, it has started getting a little rickety and weird sounding. So I don't use this as my main recording guitar anymore, but it's great for teaching and just basic practice. So I love this thing. Alright, here's another Xavier guitar, or Javier, or however you want to call it. And this is from Guitar Fetish. And this has a really nice tone to it. It was very inexpensive, probably around $300, but it's got a nice mahogany armrest right here with a spruce top, zebra wood sides and back. Just sounds and plays great. Pretty sure this is mahogany neck as well. And this is my main recording guitar. Just has a nice overall tone to it and sounds amazing. Here's a banjo that I actually got from my grandfather. It's a Hondo. It's a Hondo banjo, and it actually sounds really good. So this is always fun to have around. Here's a classical guitar that I picked up at Guitar Center last year. I really needed a classical guitar with electronics in it. So if I wanted to use it for weddings or something, that I could do that. And that's exactly why I got this, because I had to play a wedding and I needed a classical guitar I could plug in. So this is a great sounding classical. So yeah, I love this thing. Sounds great, plays great. It's got a good Fishman pickup system in it. So, all right, here's a Kentucky mandolin. I picked this instrument up definitely about 5 years ago or so. And since I produce so many different kinds of music here in the studio, I just like to have all kinds of different instruments laying around just in case I need to lay down a track or have an idea for something. So and just like the 12 string, it has this has 8 strings on it, so it's double the strings. You have to make sure it's in tune, but when it's in tune, it sounds great. And last but not least, this is a Dobro, made by Dobro. And what you do with this, you set it on your lap, and then I use this steel bar right here, and I can So yeah, I do a lot of gigs on Fiverr with this thing. I don't know why, but people want me to play dobro on their songs, so I do it. And you know, I'm still not great at it, but it's fun to play around and, you know, come up with cool melodies and just add different textures to the music that I'm creating. So that is the dobro. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed my little tour of the instruments I use here in the studio. And if you have any questions about any one of them, just, you know, comment down below. And in the meantime, I am Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.